Chris, we're stood in front of the L32 Type 12 ATC. Could you have any more numbers and letters after that?
That's just a Citizen thing. We like to put numbers and letters underneath it all.
So what does it actually mean?
So L32, it's our bread and butter machine, Type 12. It's got the B axis, Y2 axis, but this one has a automatic tool changer put on the back of it.
So what's the advantages of having the tool changer on the back as well?
It's more tools on the B axis, so angular work, multiple drills, inclined milling, but you've got 12 stations and then there's a little pocket just above it to give you 13 angular tools.
So what advantage does that give a customer other than just more tools?
That's really the main thing, is having more tools set in the back of the machine, less downtime. You can store your tools, sort of forget about them when you need them, just call them in. Just like a tool changer on a mill or anything like that, really.
So what type of industries are you seeing this machine go into? Because this is probably your most common machine.
Yeah, so the L32 is, like I said, was our bread and butter machine. It's a really versatile machine. You can have nuts and bolts all the way up to medical, aerospace stuff. Mainly you see the tool changer more medical orientated. A lot of dental people use the tool changer to be able to store all the tools, but a job shop would use it just to have the tool capability as well.
And obviously having more tools means it's easier when you swap jobs because you've not just got to swap all your tools out at the same time.
Yeah, but also tool life. You know, if you need to manage your tools a little bit more, you could have sister tools in there. You could have a rougher and finisher where normally on a sliding head you might be limited to the tools.
The one thing I get asked the most when it comes to sliding heads, and I don't know the answer, so I'm going to ask you, is how are you programming this machine? Because there's a lot happening at any one time.
So Citizen have done a really, really good job on the controls side of things, so the HMI. So every time you select a tool, as long as the tool's set correctly, it will always do a safe tool selection, and then it's just G-code from there. So as long as you can plot X, Y, Z, C and B, it's like any machine.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because you can do all that. Now, I was always conversational, but we'll not go down that road. Now, what sizes can you put on this machine? Because obviously you can run this with and without the guide bush. So what size parts have you seen people do? And if you go for like the biggest range, so what's the smallest part you've ever seen done on an L32 and then the biggest one?
I've ran 6mm bar on these, no problem. I've seen people run 4mm bar, probably not ideal, but you've done it. And then 38mm bar up to a metre long.
And then what about material type? Because obviously you're cutting aluminium at the moment, but what's I want to say the hardest or the most exotic material you've ever seen somebody cut on a slider to sort of get away from the perception that they're just for small and easy to cut material?
So I've cut Inconel, 718, Hastelloid, and then the funny one, Waspaloid. That's probably the worst stuff I've ever cut. That was really hard. But the machine done it, it's rigid enough. It's all about cutting data, tool strategy. And
I think it's great to be able to actually interview you who's actually done all this. Now, I've only got a couple of questions left, but how nervous were you about cutting, and I'm going to try and get this right, Waspaloid?
Waspaloid, yeah. Just make sure the coolant's on, that's one thing. It's, like I said, tooling strategy, good tools, good tooling strategy, correct cutting data. Yes, it might not be as rigid as a Miano and stuff like that, but it will still cut it. Don't be scared of it. And also with the LFV, lighter cuts, so you're not putting the heat into the material, you're not work hardening the material, and it will still control the swarf for you.
Now, for anybody who doesn't know what LFV is, can you just give us a quick intro into it and how that helps?
So, low frequency vibration, so it's an oscillation between the axis and cut and the spindle. So you program how many vibrations per rev you want, and then the machine will do the rest for you.
And how does that help a customer though?
Swarf control, bird's nesting, lights out machining. Also, like I said earlier, is you're not putting the heat into the material, you're not putting the heat into the tool. And also, as the tool actually backs off, the cutting edge is normally covered by the swarf all the time. It never actually sees the coolant. As it comes off, the coolant breaks, the swarf breaks, and you get coolant onto the cutting edge per rev.
So what would you say to somebody who may be on the fence about moving into a sliding head?
Just get in contact with us, come down, we'll answer any of your questions, show you a live demonstration, anything, you know, we're here, we're friendly, don't be afraid.